I'm Kylie Jade.
Kylie Ham. And this week we are going to be talking about all things fitness and fitness fundamentals. So last week we did the basics of nutrition. We hope you got some good information out of that. And today we thought we'd just move on and do the basics of fitness. But first, let's do a quick life update. Kylie Jade, what have you been up to?
Not much has changed from last time we spoke, to be honest. Still with the bathroom renos and painting outdoors. And deficit's still tracking along nicely. I think I've got another week and a half, maybe 2 weeks left of that. Went in hard and fast. I only wanted to be there like 3-4 weeks. So we're coming to the end. Apart from that, not much else is new.
That's awesome.
What about yourself?
Yeah, good. I think last time we recorded it was Australia Day. So after that, I watched my son play basketball on TV. So he's playing in the US. And it was a really good game.
Right.
So it was really enjoyable to watch. I don't often get to watch a full game because it's often during the week when I'm working. So it was really nice just to be able to sit down and watch the whole game.
Awesome. How'd it go?
Other than that, yeah, really well. Yeah, they won. They beat like one of the region champions. Yeah, he played really well. Played a lot of minutes, and the team's really developing and really coming along. So yeah, it's really nice to watch. Yeah. So shout out to him, Darcy, and all the team in Salkehatchie in South Carolina, USA.
Oh, South Carolina.
Yeah, bit chilly there at the moment, so you would not like it at all, Kylie. But it's pretty damn cold over there. Other than that, just gymming and walking and working. So school goes back, I guess. Is your daughter going back to school or gone back to school?
Yeah, she's gone back. So that's good. It's a long 6 to 8 weeks, isn't it?
It is. They get a fairly decent break. So
I wish I got that much time off.
What year is your daughter going into?
Year 9.
What year 9? Yeah, nice. So mine's in year 12. So HSC coming up for her.
Nearly done.
I know. No more children at school. That'll be different.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
So fitness basics, fundamentals.
Yeah, so I guess we want to emphasize the importance of understanding foundational fitness and their principles for a healthier lifestyle. So we'll give a brief overview of what fitness encompasses. It is a big topic, so I'm sure we're going to go off track down.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can give you some good information. All right, so let's start, I guess, with just a quick definition of fitness. So it's an overall state of well-being, and I guess it not only encompasses the physical aspects, but it also encompasses mental and social aspects as well. So I think we'll focus mostly on the physical aspects today, and definitely down the track we will talk about mental and social aspects of fitness as well. So we have a special guest lined up to come in to talk about mental health as well, so keep an eye out for that.
Nice. That'll be good. That'll be a good one.
So yeah, it will be good. Some of the key components of fitness, I guess: cardiovascular, endurance, muscular, strength training, flexibility, and body composition. So let's start off with everyone's favorite, cardio exercise. What are your thoughts on cardio, Kylie?
Well, when I started out, cardio was all I did. A lot of, I guess you'd say, group circuit training styles. Obviously, it's lighter weights, high reps, a lot of running. all that sort of stuff. And then I was obviously running 5 or so K every day. So it was a lot of cardio based stuff for me in the beginning. The last few years, I haven't done much at all. And I've just started to get back into a little bit of it. And I'm realizing how unfit I am. So it really is important to stay on track with your cardio fitness.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I would dare say I am very similar to you in that regard. I don't do a hell of a lot of cardio. And I think the recommendations are around, if you can, I think, is it about 2 hours a week, 2 to 3 hours a week? You want to be getting your heart
something
rate.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what cardio is for all of those listeners out there. So cardiovascular exercise is any activity that increases our heart rate in order to improve the efficiency of our cardiovascular system. So really important for heart health as we're getting older. Some examples, I guess, you have talked about, Kylie, and I know that you are a group fitness trainer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you teach?
Yeah,
is it cardio based or? Yep. Are the classes you teach cardio based?
A couple of strength classes a week and a couple of cardio classes as well. And then there's a few, like, I guess, circuit boot camp style as well in there. So it's a bit of a mix over the 6 days that the classes run.
Yeah. So there are some, really popular examples, I guess, of cardiovascular group fitness classes. But obviously running is a hugely popular and, look, a really cheap and easy way to get some cardiovascular exercise. What when you were running, and I too, what did you find were the benefits of running?
It was just purely the physical side of it. I won't touch on the mental side, but the physical side, obviously you can breathe easier. You have endurance. You can walk up a flight of stairs and not get puffed out. You can run around with your kids. Like, it's just that fitness, the easier breathing, and more endurance to do activities for longer.
Yeah.
What about
definitely.
you? Similar?
Yes. Yeah. Very similar, I guess. Like, obviously, I don't think anything gets my heart rate higher than going for a run or running up a hill, especially. So, I think, definitely you notice that difference in your heart rate. I think probably, I would have had, and I did have, an improved resting heart rate as well. So that was, I actually forgot about that point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good benefit as well. Some of the cons, I guess, of running, Kylie, what would you say from your experience?
My biggest con, and it's still something that I struggle with, is knee pain, like joint pain. Obviously, I can't run for very long now that my knee starts to lock up and get quite tight. Obviously, if you're not looking after yourself and things like that, you can get quite tight muscles everywhere, like your hip flexors, your quads, everything, hamstrings, calves, quite prone to injury.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, obviously the high impact from running takes its toll on your body after a period of time, and especially as we're getting older. I definitely have the knee pain as well, and look, it's a big reason as to why I stopped running and focused on strength training, is because that it is very high impact. I guess some, there are better not better, but like different cardiovascular exercises that are less low impact, like swimming. I can think of, for an example.
And any of really the other sort of machines in the gym, like the cross trainer, the rower, the ski, all of that's a lot nicer to your joints. The bike especially, I think, is another good one. That the spin bike or the recumbent bike, you can, less stress on your joints, and you can still get your heart rate up there into absolutely
the zones. Should we talk about the zones very quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you, yeah, what do you, so when we talk about zones, and people who have a fitness watch or something like that might see occasionally, if they go onto a workout or something like that, there'll be like a bar across the bottom, and it highlights as you go along, depending if as your heart rate increases, it might go from 1 bar to 2 bar up to 3 bar, along those lines. Or if you're training and you have an app, I know they have the bars up the top as well. Do you have a heart rate kind of monitoring?
To be honest, I don't actually pay attention to it, but I know when I was running, it used to get, in the beginning, it got quite high. And through those like group fitness classes, it used to get quite high in the cardio-based ones too. When I say high, it would be over, it'd be close to, like, from memory, this is going back a while, I think around 150, 160.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
I guess
now
your
at
max,
like strength training, it's just cruising at like 100, 120. I'm not sure. I don't pay attention, to be honest.
Yeah. So I guess with cardiovascular exercise, you want to make sure that you are, working your heart to an extent. And I guess as you do more training or more cardio, you become a bit more aware. Obviously it becomes easier, so you might have to push a little bit harder so that you can get those same cardiovascular benefits for your body. So when we talk about the zones, I guess you've got to know what your maximum heart rate is. So usually, generally, rule of thumb is we use 220 minus our age. Is that right, Kylie?
Yeah. I completely forgot about that equation. Simple, and everyone knows it, but it slipped my mind.
So it's a good way to find out what your maximum or the area that your maximum heart rate is kind of in. So and then we've got the 5 zones. So zone 1 is our recovery, our easy. It might just be when we're walking around, or we're going for like a very casual walk outside. So it would be about 55 to 65% of our heart rate max. Then we go into zone 2, and zone 2, there's a lot of research behind zone 2 and it has been that it's the most beneficial zone for a lot of people to sit in a period of time. So if you can do, when we talked about those 2 to 3 hours a week, if you can do 2 to 3 hours a week and get into at least zone 2, then you're going to be reaping those cardiovascular benefits. So, because if you're going walking every day, that's fantastic. It's awesome for movement and steps and everything. But if you can walk a little faster or walk up a hill, you're going to get your heart rate up a little bit and move into that zone 2. Yeah. So zone 2 is your aerobic or your base kind of zone, and it's about 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. Then we go into zone 3, which is about 80 to 85. Zone 4 is where you get to your lactate threshold, and it's about 85 to 88. And zone 5 is your anaerobic, where you're at 90% and higher. And look, I know sometimes I can get to zone 5 in the gym, like on a big lift. My heart rate will go up to about between 160 and 170, and that's pretty much my max. So you can get there.
Doesn't stay there for long, though, I assume.
No, thank goodness. But you can. And obviously, the heart rate monitors that we're wearing, the watches and things, like, they're not entirely accurate. The most accurate way is to wear the chest monitors, the chest heart rate monitors. So I guess
it's a guide,
we should also
at least,
a guide as to how hard you're working and things like that. So I guess we should also disclose if you have any type of heart issues, that you need to consult your doctor before you commence any form of fitness or exercise. Okay, so that's the zones. What else? So that's cardio. Anything else we want to say about cardio?
Not really. I guess, yeah, just try and include it in part of your week just for
Mm,
overall longevity and heart health, I guess. Don't have to flog
mm,
yourself doing it, but I would suggest, yeah, at least
no.
try and get the 2 hours in a week at some point of your week.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I definitely think that can be easier said than done if you're trying to focus, depending on your
Absolutely.
time. But yeah, it doesn't have to be, very structured. It could be running around the backyard with your kids, or
Yeah.
something like, or doing the housework. Even sometimes, can be
If you're
very
rushing and you've
strenuous,
got
and you
guests
can get
coming, yeah.
yeah, yeah, rushing around. So yeah, it doesn't have to be
No, it doesn't have to
structured
be structured exercise.
training. Yeah, just a
Yeah.
brisk walk, like you said, just
Walk the
going
dogs
out for a
fast.
10-minute brisk walk. Yes, yeah, 100%. Um, good, and obviously cardio. It is. We did touch on it, I think, in the last episode as well, about cardiovascular, the calorie burn, and not to take that into consideration with
Yeah.
your if you're tracking calories. So I think that's an important point
I'd also
to
like to
bring up
touch on
as
as
well.
well when it comes to cardio training and
Mm,
working out, sweating isn't an indicator on how hard you've gone in the gym as well. Just a side note.
yeah,
Doesn't determine a good
yeah,
or a
yeah.
bad workout.
No, definitely not. And I think everyone's very different in that department, depending on your hormone levels and, your
Yeah.
sweat glands and things like that. Like some people, are profusely sweat even when they're just going for a walk. And,
Yeah.
and obviously for us women, it depends. Like if you're in a perimenopause stage, your temperature regulation's a bit whack. So it
Or
can,
even what part of your
yeah.
cycle you're in. Like I know that there's a lot of women
Hmm.
out there that track their ovulation and it goes on body temperature. So it can
Mm,
completely change depending on what
mm.
time of the month you've got going on.
Yeah, 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 definitely. So yeah, that's a great point. Like you don't have to go out and, sweat your guts out
Mm.
to have a good workout, or to
Benefit.
be, to benefit for you, yeah, your cardiovascular system or any system. So 100%. All right. Muscular strength and endurance. Well, I'm pretty sure we have a
We love
fair
this
amount to
one.
say about this.
I don't even know where to start. Would you
um,
like to start off with the muscular endurance and strength topic?
Sure, sure. So I guess it's, the ability to exert force, um, while endurance is more the ability to sustain muscle activity over time. So um, if we
Good
talk
sum up.
about resistance training, yeah, if we talk about resistance training, um, obviously we're going to talk about lifting weights, body weight and physical weights as well, and our resistance exercises. So I think that this obviously, this is for me is hugely important, for women, and I think all women, everyone should be doing some form of resistance training. The
I
research
agree.
behind it is just huge. There is the benefits for your body, for your mind, for absolutely everything is just phenomenal. So, anyone who comes to me or asks my opinion, anything like that, I'm always going to say like strength training is in the top 5 for health.
I
So
agree.
how to
100%.
get let's talk about how to get started, I guess, Kylie. So if someone comes to you and they've never set foot inside a gym, they've never done any form of resistance training, in their life, what would you say to them, and what would you recommend to get them started?
I would recommend, if they've got no experience whatsoever of being in a gym, is definitely seeking out a personal trainer there, maybe getting a few. I think most gyms throw in a few free PT sessions, so definitely take advantage of those. Not only can they show you
Mm,
around the gym how to use the machines, where all the machines and weights are, but they can definitely take you through a few sessions and show you the basics on form and how to correctly do the movement. That would be my first tip.
Yeah, I think that's that's an awesome tip. Like, I think if someone who's never been into a gym, or you're intimidated by the gym, that obviously there's lots of great workouts that you can do at home. But if I think it's still a great idea, like you said, to join a gym, even if it's just for a trial period or something, and have that professional help. Or you could hire an online coach, but you can
plug there.
Yeah, like ourselves. But you could. I think it's really important. And look, I think it's really important to have that face-to-face as well when you're first starting out, so that you can, become familiar with, how to lift and how to move the weight properly, how to move your body properly, even if it's body resistance training, just, squatting with your body weight.
Down pat.
Yeah, it's because that form is so important moving forward in your journey. So that's such great advice. I guess, like, if you had a client who came to you, Kylie, who has never done it before, never done any weight resistance training before, but doesn't want to go to the gym, wants to start at home, what advice or what type of program would you give them?
Definitely, you'd start out 100% with just body weight. As you touched on just the last point, it gets you familiar with the actual movement, the actual way that your personal body performs the movement, because not everyone has the same structure. So your stance in a squat, for example, might be a little wider than mine that's comfortable. So getting familiar with the movements and just body weight, no weights at all to start with, 100% is, the first point there. Purely so you get familiar in your own mind with how to do the pattern, but to avoid injury as you progress later on.
Yeah, that definitely. I think it's really important that you get the basic. You need to nail the basics, and I think we talked about, maybe, I don't know if it was on or off air, but even with our programs now, our coaches, I mean, I know my coach does, she still programs the basics. So
Same.
It's always good to go back, and do like a hip banded hinge or something like that, just to make sure that your form is absolutely spot on for when you go and you go to a bar and things like that. So, and I know, we're the same in terms of that. We would do that for our clients as well. So don't think that if you've been training before, but you come back, or you're doing an ongoing program, don't think that, just because the basics are programmed, that's I don't need to do that. Like, I think it's really important that that we focus on those all throughout our training, not just at the start. So
I agree.
Perfect.
a little regression sometimes helps with progression.
yeah definitely. That's great, saying. I love that. All right, so
I know, I might use it as a quote.
Yeah, you should. We love quotes on this podcast, so I think we should throw out as many quotes as we possibly can. Good. So I guess the benefits of strength training or resistance training is that we improve our muscle tone. I mean, a lot of clients, I guess, come to us and say, I want to get more toned. So the only way it depends on your definition of tone, but the only way to get some definition in your muscles is to strength train. So the big benefit of strength training is with bone density, especially for women. So as we're getting older, if you don't want to be bend over and your back goes, or you've hurt yourself. So if you're strength training, you've got the muscle strength there to support your bones. So as we get older, if you have a fall and you might break a hip or something like that, I see this all the time in nursing. And a lot of people, can't recover from that, or are never the same. So if you can have some level of muscle strength there. It's going to greatly improve your risk of falling, and then if you do have a fall, it's going to improve your rate of recovery.
100%. And before we even get older, it's going to help you with your everyday tasks as well. Like you bend down to pick up the washing basket, you've got the strength there to lift a heavy load of towels. You've got the strength to, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to the car for 4 trips of shopping. I'm carrying it all in at once.
Yeah.
Getting on and off the toilet.
Yeah, you definitely.
It's a spot pattern.
Yeah. That's so true. Like you definitely notice those little changes in your everyday. I feel even just with posture, like you're able to hold yourself up. Yeah. Because you've got some muscle strength there to be able to do that. So,
and even when I first started training, I had before I even started working out, I had quite a bad lower back. Like it was horrible, and I'd go to the doctors often and he'd say, oh, it's just typical mum or typical housewife's back, like from carrying the kids, bending over to vacuum, mop, blah blah blah. And I just took it, whatever, I'll just carry on with Panadol, as I did as a young 20-something-year-old. The older I've gotten, the better my back is, like, because I've strengthened it, and I don't have the typical housewife's back because I'm still mopping and vacuuming, I'm still carrying shopping and that sort of stuff. But because I've strengthened my muscles, I don't have that lower back pain as often.
That's fantastic. You know, I think, and there's so many people who say the same thing. Like they might come to us with their niggles, and then strength training, it really improves that. And I know myself, like the knee pain from running, like I used to get knee pain walking up and down stairs, like, and you know, but since strength, like I don't have that anymore. Like I can feel the strength in the muscles around my knees. I know my knee still has, you know, joint issues from running, but that muscle strength around the joint is really supporting it and giving it some strength. So
absolutely. Yeah, I'm nodding away here. Like if anyone's watching on YouTube, my head's just nodding in agreement.
Yeah. So I think, you know, if you're thinking about, you know, any form of training, like start strength training, start resistance training, get a coach, you know, just to learn the basics, join the gym, go for it, like take that leap. There's a lot, and I know a lot of women are very skeptical about going to the gym. They think like it's intimidating. It's, you know, you've got to, you know, the men, they're lifting all the weights. And
I agree with them to a certain point. It is intimidating. Like there are, it's a scary place to walk into and you've never been there before. And then you've got machines that you don't know how to use. You've got men who are grunting and groaning and throwing weights around sometimes. Like it is intimidating, but if you take that first step, every other step after that gets easier with practice.
100%. Like, just take that first step. Use the support that's available to you, that's out there, and just start. You will see the benefits very quickly. You will feel the benefits quickly, and I guess the most important thing after that is consistency. So sticking to it. Let's talk about how many times a week we think people should train. What do you think, Carls?
Yeah, I think a good base is probably 3 days a week for resistance training, up to 5. I wouldn't go any more than 5. 6 and 7 is probably overdoing it. It's not really giving you much time to recover, let your muscles repair, and take the last session off before it's back into it again. So I'd say 3 to 5 days is probably ideal.
I agree. I think 3 is a good I mean, if you can't do 3, do 2. Like I think you know, doing 2 is better than doing none at all. I actually heard a story about a client the other day who could only do 1 30-minute session a week. That's all she could do. So it was like, well, what do we program for that? So I guess that for that client, like you have to be, if you can only make it to the gym once or twice a week, like you need to be doing all your other movement. And if we're talking about weight loss as well, you need to be doing all your other movement outside of that time. and really using that time in the gym to learn the basics. So, and then hopefully you can adjust your schedule to increase that down the track. So yeah, I think just start, and make it a priority. I think it's really important that for us as women, we don't make ourselves priority for such a long time. And it's really important that we start that earlier. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And a little side note to the ladies, lifting weights will not make you look like a man. It will not bulk you up. There's women out there that try for years and years and years to grow their muscles. But you have to focus 100% to be able to get bulky like a man, for example. It takes years without any enhancements and stuff like that. It takes a very long, focused time.
Yeah. That's spot on. Like you will not get bulky. Like you've been training for a long time, and you're very, very strong, but you're not bulky. Like
no
one
trying
I
to
know
grow muscle, and it's not happening.
And no one I know, people who've been training for such a long time, and even like women I know that are power lifters, they're very, very strong women, but they're never. We're just not built the same as men. We're not going to be. We're not going to be bulky. So don't worry about that. You will. If anything, you will get more defined, but it's not really about the look. I feel like it should be about your health and how you feel and the benefits to your joints and your body. So yeah, another great benefit of that we haven't touched on yet of strength training is that it does speed up our metabolism a bit as well. So because our muscles are working, they're working when we're not training as well. So they're growing and they're working. So it needs a bit more energy from our body. So it is a great benefit to strength training as well. All right. How are we going? We are killing it for time.
Absolutely.
We have a lot more to talk about. So do you want to, shall we stop there and do like a part 2? Do you think, Kyles?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because we haven't even touched on flexibility. We haven't touched on body comp or programming, we touched a little bit
benefits
on programming,
but
we haven't talked. Rest and recovery, fit. So let's do a part 2. So thanks for listening. Where can you find yourself? If anyone needs help with getting started, you can contact either of us. So Kylie Jade can be found at
Kylie Jade _coaching. That's on Instagram. And your Instagram handle is?
Yep. So Healthy Aging with Kylie, or with underscores in between. So reach out to us, even if you just have any questions. We also have an Instagram page for the pod, so Health with Kylie and Kylie. So make sure you follow along. Give us a 5-star review. Make sure you subscribe to us. Apple, Spotify. You are on YouTube as well, so check us out on there as well. And
absolutely.
Other than that, I will see you next week, Kylie.
Talk to you soon. Have a good week.
Bye. You too. Bye.